Hey, it's Tim. Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, joined by the 5 of the world, Jill Simonello from Chicago, where they have the world's most interesting pizza pie combination thing that we're not really. Yeah, Jill's not anti, but she's vegan. She's this.
I'm not vegan. Everybody thinks I'm vegan. I am not actually vegan. I don't like. I love pizza, but like too much cheese, meh. Too much crust, meh. I'm totally a New York style pizza kind of person, but I'm Italian.
There you go. Yeah, that's why she sucks her hands so often that you guys come in the videos. By the way, her hands are going crazy right now. Listen to the podcast. There you go. The hands are going crazy. So we're talking tonight about the Ram 1500. Heavy duty coming later. We had a lot of stuff going on. So we had some F-150 issues, Ranger coming. We have Tacoma news. But I want to get into this right now, Jill. I got to get into this details right now. I'm just going to throw on the screen that. Let me see the right window. All right. I was on the Consumer Guide podcast today, and Jill completely screwed me over. So the Consumer Guide Automotive, she does it with Tom Appel on Mondays, and I was a guest today. And the top item, listeners' favorites, model names in 2025 Ram 1500. I was on hold while Jill discussed with Tom, on the podcast, her thoughts on Ram 1500, and then it was like, okay, Tim, what do you think? And I was like, wait a minute here. I can't even argue with Jill on this. Come on.
No, you cannot.
So I have to listen to this episode because I have no idea what Jill said in this podcast. And it's completely thrown the wolves, and I don't appreciate it.
Actually, you know what? I we will have to ask Tim his thoughts on this when he gets because especially I made it a point of asking you about towing because I did not do the towing exercise on the Ram 1500. And so I said, we really need to make sure we ask Tim about this because he tows stuff on a regular basis and he will have good thoughts on this. Yeah. Me sticking my tongue out at you.
Screwed me over.
Did not. Totally built you up and said, Tim will have insightful information about this.
And I got to make one more comment. Just so those people are aware watching this live stream. I bought a new t-shirt today from Walmart, and I bought a t-shirt yesterday. I like these cheap t-shirts, $5 a piece, whatever. I bought an extra large yesterday at Walmart, and it was so tight, it was like body, like skin tight, right? I bought I was like, fine, I'll buy 2 extra because Walmart sizing is all weird, too extra. I feel like I have this huge like neck now because it's just so. Anyways, I'm kind of busy with my shirt. So yes, lots of stuff going on in that arena. Let's see, we got some stuff from Ben and Beta. I want to get to that in a minute. But yeah, so that was where Jill screwed me over on that. I'm just putting it out there. So,
listen to that, and then you will find out that I did not actually screw him over.
And she did. All right, so I want to get to something else. Let's say I teed up here. So this is interesting, and I want to get to this because Jill, this is fascinating to me. So this is I did a video on, I did this TikTok-y like you do, Tiki-Taki. I did it on the oil filter location on the Ram 1500, and this guy says Stellantis is not currently building 2500s due to realizing that you could not remove the filter. He says his buddy works at the Sterling Heights assembly plant, and I can refresh this because he added one more comment too. And this is bizarre to me. He says, apparently you can't get the filter off, assuming that's in 4-wheel drive trucks. All you need to do is angle the filter and problem solved, I'm sure. So we get this stuff all the time. Like we're talking about Ford here in a little bit. Tacoma's got QC quality holds. We never really know what's going on behind the scenes. But that is fascinating that if that's true, it's bizarre world, right? To have to come out the engine that way. But B, people in the TikTok world had commented about oil filter relocation kit. You actually you put you can move the oil filter over and put a line to it so you can actually relocate it, right? So imagine like a hose to the bottom oil filter and you relocate it. It's not bizarre out there, but yeah. So think about that. Like think about the idea that you have this engine you build for multiple vehicles. Oh, Wagoneer came up first, Grand Wagoneer. Now you have Ram, and Ram's got the bars. I don't even know the name of the bars, and the front below the engine for the front suspension. It's like a double wishbone, but they also have a 4-wheel drive connection for the transfer case, and so they can't get the filter out. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine?
How do you not realize that? How do you not realize that?
No way. Like I appreciate this guy's comments. Like I totally appreciate this guy's comments. but like, what? Like, what? Seriously? I don't know. It's just, I was thinking about that quite a bit. Like, it's 2024. How does that become a thing? Yeah, I don't know. It just, hold on. I'll do my sound effect. Yes. So yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I'm not sure what's going on with that. So it's just interesting that was the comment. So Ram 2500. We're gonna get the Ben Beta's comment in a little while. 2500. Why am I saying 2500? 2025 1500. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Drink more water.
I'm a complete mess. So heavy duty coming out later this year. I guess I'm alluding to that. So God darn it, the 1500, good or bad? You had talked about. So Jill and I have this discussion. We've had different places. Tungsten trim. Let's go there. Top trim level.
Yeah. So you know what?
I love it.
I did a review on my YouTube channel. So I have a separate YouTube channel. That may be a shock. That may be a shock to people. Okay. But I do both car, truck, SUV. Like I do all of the things on there. And I've been trying to build it up a little bit more and do more car stuff over there. And since Tim and I both did the Ram trip and we were on the same wave, I did my own video. So, and I put it on that channel. So if you want my take, go over there, Car du Jour, Jill Simonello, my name. You can see it on the thing. And I focused on the tungsten trim. And my reason for that was this. I figured there would be a lot of people out there who were doing, very in-depth information about the engine and walkarounds of all the trims and comparisons and all of this stuff. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to pick the tungsten trim and I'm going to focus in on that. I mean, this is limited seller, but it's the money truck, $100,000 out the door. And so that's where I spent a lot of my time. And I you know what, I liked it, but there were some things that bothered me on it in terms of the level of materials. And like the seats were great, but they're white. I mean, white-ish. They're like a salt mist is what they call it. And or sea salt is what they're calling it, indigo and sea salt. But the seats are white, and I don't see that in a truck. Comment, let me know. Are you okay with white? I have a lot of people who commented on this video who told me I was smoking crack, essentially, that people wouldn't spill on it, and the white is totally fine for a truck.
I would go with marijuana, not crack.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't like, you can see in the background of the video that's playing, it's white. So that was one of my things. And then the other thing is on the dash, and I was trying to do Google right as Tim was like, and we're live. And I was like, okay, I'm not Googling this now. I don't remember them mentioning carbon fiber trim in the tungsten trim, like accent pieces. And I mean, maybe I missed it, but I don't remember them talking about that. And I don't remember reading that in the 50 million pages of materials that they sent us. And on the dash, on the door, and on the center stack console area, there is this trim that it looks like it has a pattern like carbon fiber, but to me, it felt like plastic and it looked like plastic. And I commented on that, and everybody was just like, that's carbon fiber. How can you not like the carbon fiber? I'm like, if that's carbon fiber, they did a bad job. So, I mean, those are the two things, like material-wise, that I didn't really like. There, I'm talking about the adjustable pedals, which is a perennial favorite feature. It's great for tall and short drivers, not just the shorties out there. It's also great for you tall people because it allows you to really adjust your seat and set it up for your driving preference. But I did like one of those 5 good things, 5 bad things reviews. And so, start out talking about the good things. But yeah, the two, like the carbon fiber, and I'm still using air quotes because I'm just not convinced that was actually carbon fiber. And then the white were the 2 big things that I didn't really like on that. But I mean, overall, I thought the tungsten trim was, and you can kind of see it there on the edge of the video. That does not look like carbon fiber to me. That looks like plastic. felt like plastic. But the I liked it. I liked the engine. I did the off-road bit on the Rebel, and it does what it's supposed to do. But yeah, I liked it. But again, there were a couple of things I'm just like, this doesn't strike me as $100,000 worth.
Yeah, interesting, because so let me explain this. At the event, they had lots of tungsten trims. They were really pushing it quite a bit. And I drove Bighorn, I drove Laramie, and I drove Tungsten on the way back to the hotel. I did not spend much time in Tungsten. My focus on Tungsten was the high output Hurricane engine, not about the trim level, because I was driving back hotel. I was worn out, tired. I had like 4 hours of sleep, so I just not even interested in that kind of stuff. So I just worked. So it's interesting to see your viewpoint on the Tungsten trim. We did turn on massaging seats. Your drive partner and your friend Kristen Shaw and I were doing massaging seats, which is it's kind of a nice feature.
It is. I love massaging seats.
Yeah. Driving Sports TV, Ryan is here as well. I'd be interested to get Ryan's viewpoint when he gets a chance to drive this truck too, because it is very interesting. So did you talk about the high output versus standard output? Did you notice the difference there?
You know what? I didn't drive the standard output.
Okay. Common Sense Guy says, no, not Common Sense Guy. Jerk Soldier X says that white is cool, holds up better than you think. I would challenge that, because Toyota did this in a capstone, and every capstone I've been in has marks on it.
Yeah, I mean, even in these trucks, and I think I might have even shown it in the video. Like even these trucks, they were already starting to show denim, like the rub from the denim.
And look at the headrest there, Jill. So it's
I love the headrest. That was a definite thumbs up.
It's a 4-way adjustable headrest, right?
Yes, up, down, forward, backward, and I didn't feel like it was pushing my head forward. A lot of them like hit me right at the top of my head, and it's so I have to like move the headrest up really high, and then it does no benefit to me because I'm like essentially between the like little braces that hold the headrest. But this, loved it.
I'm trying to figure out, is the headrest even matter to you? I mean, your head is like at the no, anyway. So
I didn't see that one. It was perfect. It like came down low enough that it hit me in just the right spot.
I was curious about your thoughts about the Ram charger, dual wireless charger here. You pointed out in the video. As I watched this video, you pointed out that you thought that GM had a cooling system built, right? Jill, I showed you the video of that. Come on,
yourself.
I showed you where that cooling line came in.
Yeah, you
so
installed the cooling thing yourself, but like
I was so disappointed.
Definitely doesn't have the like a cool pad, but so your phone warms up a little bit, but it didn't like overheat my phone.
Yeah. So I think that we talked about today on the podcast, the car stuff podcast, was that I think it's a major refresh in terms of the Ram audience. This is going to be a bellwether point, where they got rid of the Hemi and now they have Hurricane. That's a huge deal. So, oh wait, Jill's got to go on.
I've got to answer this question.
Hold on. Can you grab your soapbox? Do you have your soapbox nearby?
I have a shoebox. I bought some boots. Don't throw me on that tangent.
There's a question from Bill Taylor, who's also the car nanny. So he will. I'm gonna let Jill handle this one. I'll come back to it.
Okay. So Bill Taylor, Facebook question asked, "Is the Ram the only vehicle with adjustable pedals? I remember GM had that years ago, but I don't think anyone else has them. Ford also has adjustable pedals. So the F-150 and I think the Expedition and maybe even the Lincoln Navigator have the adjustable pedals." And then the Ram 1500 and I think the 2500 has it. And I think like, again, the heavy duty versions of Super Duty versions of the F-Series trucks. And then you also see it, I think, on the Wagoneer. I wrote like several stories on this, but it's been like 3 years ago. So I need to revisit. But I know Stellantis products and Ford products have adjustable pedals. General Motors, and every time I talk about adjustable pedals, I will get a GM fanboy who's like, "You're wrong!" And I'm like, hold your horses, slow your roll. I'm not wrong. General Motors stopped putting adjustable pedals in their vehicles in 2020. Full stop. No trucks, no SUVs have adjustable pedals from General Motors after 2020. And it's funny because I actually had my mom buy a Chevy Malibu Max way back in like 2006, 2007, because it had adjustable pedals and a hatchback. And she loved it. And she was very sad when she had to give up that car. And the thing that she always asks about now, whenever she wants to look at or think about getting a new car, does it have adjustable pedals? Does it have adjustable pedals? But does it have adjustable pedals? No. Only like full-size trucks and full-size SUVs at this point in time from Ford and Stellantis have adjustable pedals.
And I mean, expound on that a little bit. Jill and I were at an event, a private event, actually, just two of us with Toyota, 3 syllables, Tim. Mm-hmm. And so we actually brought up adjustable pedals. And he said, the engineer we're talking to said that there was a big argument inside of headquarters, whether to have them or not, because some people viewed them as being unsafe. Others viewed them as being safe. And imagine like letting a wild Wolverine out of the cage. And that was Jill on this engineer. So, so there's brands out there that think that the pedals coming up cause more leg issues in an accident than they do. Jill's shaking her head.
I know.
I'm just trying to expound on their point of view. I know you don't agree at all, but I'm just saying that there's an argument going on. It's pro and con saying you could get more leg damage with the adjustable pedals versus Jill saying you can't even drive the vehicle. What's the point of that going on?
So here's the thing. There was probably about 2 or 3 years ago, there was a study that came out from IIHS, and I think I wrote a story about it, where they said women are more likely to get leg damage in a crash than men. And I feel like one of the fake conclusions it kind of came to is like, well, maybe it was because of the shoes they were wearing. Like maybe it's because they were wearing high heels. And I'm like, au contraire, mon frère, it's because the seating position is closer to, in most cases, because women are typically shorter than men. So women sit closer to the underbelly of the dash. And there are several vehicles that I sit in, and my leg is like this up against the underbelly of the dash. And so like if I were to get into an accident, like my leg would break. Like and if God forbid, if there were a knee airbag that was going to pop out of that underbelly of a dash, like I would amputate my legs. So anybody who says that Jill rant, anybody who says that adjustable pedals are not safe, they can go insert expletive, because like what's not safe is my leg touching the underbelly of the dash. That is not safe. And it happens in a lot of trucks. It happens in a lot of SUVs, and it even happens in some sedans and cars. And it's just full stop, not happy. And I will stop.
Aged Wolverine. Aged Wolverine. So real quick, common sense guy. I'm late in my comments. Did Ram do away with the upper and lower glove boxes, or is it just available if you don't get the passenger screen? If you don't get the passenger screen, you have upper glove box. You have lower glove box all the time, but upper glove box is taken out with the passenger screen. Passenger screen, Joe, I find it just useless. I've been trying to wrap my head around the purpose for it. I find the passenger screen in the wagon, all of them, and I've sat in the passenger side and tried to formulate my plan of how I'm going to use this thing. Jill?
So here's the thing. I don't know. I posted it on TikTok, and it has like, I think 2.7 million views. A lot of people had comments about the passenger screen, and there were both pros and cons, where some people are like, my wife uses it all the time. You know, she watches movies, like she hooks up like her phone to the screen and she watches Netflix on the screen, you know, while we're driving on long road trips. And people are like, why can't you just watch it on your screen? Okay, so my phone is this big, not big, but like, you know, the passenger screen is like 3 times as big. And so would you rather watch your Netflix like this on your cell phone, or would you rather watch it, you know, on a bigger screen? Your choice. iPad, you could watch it on your iPad. Totally cool. Yes, you could do that. But if you don't have an iPad, I don't. and you want to watch Netflix on a bigger screen, that's an option for you. Another great thing about the passenger screen is it dials into your navigation system. So if you're driving and you're watching the road, which is what you should be doing, I can go into the settings on the passenger screen and I can be like, I'd really like a Starbucks right now. And I can like do the navigation via that screen without like having to get into your space in the center stack. Or I guess I could go like this, get into your space on the center stack and deal with the navigation there. You can hook up and like with an HDMI cord, I think you could do some like gaming on there. Again, not a gamer, not something I would do, but you could hook up something there. And so I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of options. The other thing that I thought was kind of cool is you can access all of the cameras on there. And so you can kind of play around with the cameras, which you can't do on the big screen while you're driving. So going 70 miles an hour, you can like look at the cameras.
Ryan at Driving Sports TV says passenger screens are akin to lighting money on fire. Just get an iPad if you need an extra screen.
And you know what? I mean, and that's what a lot of people said on TikTok. I'll be honest with you. I'm ambivalent. Like, would my husband ever use the passenger screen for anything? No, he would not. He would fall asleep before he would turn anything on. So no, I mean, I don't know. People love it or they hate it. And I'm fairly, it's just water, Tim. I'm fairly ambivalent.
And Jill Rent returns. So hashtag Jill Rent returns. I agree with Ryan. He points out many times, like iPhone, you get closer, you can hold it close to your face, you can see it better. I find it could be a useless feature. That's just me. I don't know. I don't really. There's not much there that I think is very impressive. NM Trucker says Jill needs leg extensions. That'd be an interesting adaptation for her.
By the way, those they do exist. I've had people reach out to me who are like, so I'm 5 feet tall, but I've had people who reach out to me who are like 4'7" or 4'8", and they're like, do they have pedal extenders? You know, if they don't have adjustable pedals. I've had comments on my stories. I'm like, yeah, there is. Amazon has a link for that. There are actually pedal extenders you can buy on Amazon.
Future Jill review coming.
Yeah.
This is. I want to point this comment out because I thought it was really fascinating. James Houston says, "How big is a footrest in new Ram? Is something Ram never used before?" Did you? So we did not go to the same media briefing. We did different waves, which means we're at different times there. And they pointed out in the Tungsten trim there was a bigger. I want to say bigger. They pointed out there's a footrest that appears. And when I did a video on Tungsten, I actually pointed it out because they had said it. And so let's be aware of this. So you have gas, brake, and then you usually have a dead pedal. It's called a dead pedal spot. It's for your left foot goes and road trips. You just come your foot up there. And Ram said they talked about it. I don't know that it's bigger. It's unique. I haven't heard another brand ever talk about this. And I've been doing this now over a decade, and I haven't heard anybody else talk about the dead pedal like being a big deal.
Well, okay. So I could see if somebody is wearing like work boots, you might want a little more space, but keep in mind, I wear a size 5 running shoe, a size 3 women's regular shoe. My feet are very small. The problem I actually had in this vehicle is the gas pedal doesn't come down very far. And so I found myself like kind of almost slipping under the gas pedal occasionally. Like if I wanted to rest my heel on the floor and then use my toes to, throttle, like there were times that like if I had to make sure that my foot was in a more upright position to get on the gas pedal.
Really? Huh.
I have opposite problems than most people.
You have lots of opposite problems.
And that's why I didn't even mention it in my review, because that is so uniquely a me problem. And I was wearing, actually, I'll be honest with you, I was wearing kid shoes that day. So I was wearing a size 1 kid shoe. So really,
I don't know why. I will tell you, my critique of your YouTube channel, your personal YouTube channel, is you should play at the stuff more often. It's so interesting. It's so different. It's such a great market for you. And you're the only one that I know that can fit in RAM boxes, that can do unique things. I don't know why you don't play into that. So hold on. Shout out to Ken Nix. He is a platinum membership supply. And Ken, I keep looking at ways to do videos for you, and I'm going to do a video for you just for you because you've done platinum subscription. But I want to set up Jill to another Jill rant. Here comes Jill rant.
Uh-oh. Dick
Header from Asia says, has there been a car or truck marketed for ladies?
Why would this be a rant?
Because there was it 80% of the buying purchases are done by women.
So here's the thing. Smart automakers have figured out what Tim just said. 84% of buying decisions are either made by or influenced by women. So Tim's buying a truck. You better believe his wife, Heather, has something to say about that. He's not just going to be like, damn it, woman, I'm buying this truck, because he would not be married anymore. I've never met Heather, but I know Heather.
That's true.
He would not be married anymore. Even though maybe the woman isn't buying or driving the truck 100% of the time, she's going to be driving the truck. You can't have a car in a house, at least not in our house, and I'm not driving it. And so smart. So back to my original train of thought, smart automakers have figured this out. And so while there isn't necessarily a vehicle that is marketed at or targeted towards women necessarily specifically, they do things with women in mind because they think, oh, if a woman likes it, that is going to curry more favor. So adjustable pedals, that is one of those things that curries more favor potentially with women because you can create a more adjustable driving position. I feel like Volvo several years ago, one of the things they did in their glove box of, I think it was the XC40, they had a hook that came down out of the glove box that you could put a bag of groceries on, or, a purse. So you're not setting it on the passenger seat. You had a little hook for it. There's little clever features like that automakers put in that a woman will notice that a man doesn't care about, but it's something that, might sway or tip the scales a little bit.
So I got to go old school here because I actually saw this recently at an auto show, classic car show. And Jill, I don't know if you know this, but in 1955, Dodge came out with La Femme. It actually was marketed towards women. So the Wikipedia, if you look, this is interesting. So Wikipedia says it was marketed towards women. The La Femme stemmed from the observation of the Chrysler's marketing department that more women were taking interest in automobiles during the 1950s. So they built this car. It was basically a Dodge sedan. They made it into a La Femme version. They had special tapestry inside of it. That is this pink flower upholstery inside. They had makeup, built-in purses and things, and makeup and stuff. Again, 1955. It's different time for women.
Okay, It's cringy now.
Right, it's cringy now. Headliner was heavy white fabric with many tiny random splashes of gold paint. Seat coverings were the high organic seeming patterns. Yeah, they had a little makeup boxes and little things built into it. So if you go to a classic car show, they only made 3,000 or 4,000 these cars, and I've actually seen them. There's one in the Gearing, we call it the Father's Day Car Classic here in Gearing, Nebraska, and they actually have one of these Dodge La Femmes there. 1955, 1956, 57, they killed it after demand didn't quite meet their needs. But yeah, so they did actually at one point in time market cars exclusively for women.
All right. So I want to address JW's comment about looking for, or wait, not that one. There was a different one. He moved too quickly. It was Jerk Soldier X. Women love cup holders. It's the number one thing they look for. What I want to say is the first thing my husband does when he gets in the car is looks for a place to put his water bottle. So I'm going to say that's not just a girl thing. I look at cup holders because I often will take a can of sparkling water. This is a new flavor, by the way. I'm really enjoying it. It's cherry limeade from Waterloo. But I will often take a can of sparkling water with me, and it's always a frustration when I put it in and then it goes boop, and like pops out of the cup holder as soon as I turn a corner. Plus, I also, and I don't have one handy, I usually carry like sport water
massive bottles. Yeah, you're massive.
So, I'm looking for cup holders. And by the way, Ford actually has an engineer that all they do is design cup holders that will fit like various size bottles, because now I'm tangenting. This is fascinating because when you look at American cars versus European cars, the actual bottles and cups in Europe are a different size than the, big gulps we've got in America. And so to be able to design a cup holder that fits, things from like really narrow, like cans or bottles to like the big gulps in the United States. I mean, it is an engineering feat. It is phenomenally interesting to me.
Yeah. And actually, I remember the Tundra came out. It was actually the cup holders were squishing aluminum cans. So it does actually happen. So JW, so I've said in the comments on the forum a few times, JW is pointing out something. So we had discussion in the forum. I get to pimp the forum. We had discussion in the forum about the a very adamant Hemi fan. A list of questions about Hemi and Hemi Tick, that kind of stuff. Questions I probably can't get answered because automakers only talk about that kind of stuff. But I have reached out to Ram. I sent them about 20 questions for the lead engineer of the 3-liter Hurricane engine. Cooling, oil intervals, a bunch of information. And so I've reached out to them. They're coordinating with the engineer right now, Alan. And I have no ETA on that. I'm waiting for information. I love talking to engineers about this stuff. I actually love getting your comments and putting your comments to the engineer and getting the questions answered. So it's coming. If you do have an idea for some questions, forum.pickuptrucktalk.com, comments below in this live stream, or tim@pickuptrucktalk.com. I will try to insert those into the video I'm going to do with this gentleman. So I am working on that. It is fascinating. I do love this. So I want to move on a little bit. I think we talked about enough about the
enough about the Ram 1500.
So Ford F-150 issues. So not just F-150, F-150 Lightning. Lightning is a stop sale. The Ford F-150, 2020 Ford F-150 is piling at the different parking lots around Detroit. The thing is, people are freaking out about this stuff, and the same thing happened to me in 2020 when I tried to buy the 21 F-150. It was sitting in a parking lot, and they didn't release it. So,
but that was COVID related and supply chain issue related. So what's going on now? I
feel like supply chains are still a problem. But let me throw one more thing at you, because this is really interesting. This came up in, check it out, Jill, the forum. It came out in the forum.
Which apparently, by the way, Gene says we need more interaction from me on the forum.
Yes, Jill, you need to hop over there. So, this the Fighting Fires, a great guy over there, coming a lot of stuff. It actually was a forum into a forum. So the forum on Tacoma, and I've actually reached out to Toyota on this. They ship spare tires that are essentially donut spares. And according to the website on Toyota.com, if you look at the specs, it says a full-size spare. That photo does not say full-size spare to me. And this gentleman was pretty adamant about this. He actually took a lot of photos on this. It's 175/90D18. That's a very small tire. And he actually went to the dealership and had to sit down with the dealership people, and they ordered him a new tire and a wheel to combination go together. And this is just a fascinating thing. So if you look at again, forums are interesting places, but you pull it up, look at full specs, and you go down to go down the tires, you will see as you go down 265, 75, 70 R18 is the tire, and different variations of that spare, full size spare.
Check.
But you go into his photos, and there is no spare, and so.
Did he say what trim level?
Excuse me, not a spare, but there's a small spare.
Did he say what trim?
SR5.
Okay.
So if you go to I don't know if I can change model. We'll go to SR5 real fast. So we'll do. Say he's got a full drive. I think he's got a full drive. Full drive. Say 5-foot bed. Let's just go with that for the time being. As it full size spare. So I thought it was really interesting, and there's a quality control hold on Toyota vehicles. Toyota Tacomas actually currently, and Ben and Beta's talked about this quite a bit. That some Colorado dealerships aren't getting the Tacoma because it's held by quality control. And so the question now is the quality control over the fact it's not a real spare tire? Dun, 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 dun. Because automakers won't tell us this stuff. They won't comment on this stuff at all. They will just say it's coming, yada yada yada. So I found that very fascinating. That is and we've discussed this in the podcast and different live streams, stuff like that. Some of the luxury brands now, they send you a can of
the air inflator kit.
Air inflator kit, and everybody's doing different things. And Jason sent us a $1.99 for highlighting Tundra issues recently. I'm happy to do so, buddy. I'm happy to help make you guys to be informed consumers. Dick says donut spares can be dangerous. That looks pretty darn small to me.
That's like a Jill size tire.
Yeah, there you go. Can't use that spare and full drive brake stuff. Fine print brochure says may not be as shown. I don't know. So I have an email out to Toyota PR to discuss this. Tacoma issues are over stabilizer bar disconnect not being available. I've heard that same thing, J. Ray. I've heard that same comment over the stabilizer disconnect bars not being available as well, which is why our friend TRD John Gigglehoff actually drove 2 a.m. and woke up in Destin, Florida, and drove to Nashville to pick up a truck and drive it home. So, but I find the spare tire situation very fascinating. Like it says online, full size spare. I don't know about that one. That's a very interesting conversation to have. And so, is the donut spare the same diameter? It was I have to do the math on the diameter size, but it's R18 versus. It could be the same diameter, but it's very skinny. It's very skinny tire. I don't know. Yeah. So the dude says, "Great, what a great screen name." The dude. Only the center tire of that tire is flat. The outer treads are curved. Looks like a retread, not even a spare. Yeah, it does look like it's a fake tire. Mine doesn't have that, and it's a quality control too. So that thing. So Ben and Beta has one ordered, and he's saying that he doesn't even have the stabilizer disconnect bar, and his is QC quality control too. The problem with quality control, and I've written about this different times and different stories of that, is that there is no solid answer. QC could be they shipped it out because it's missing a part waiting for the part to come in. They can't hold this up dealerships, the plant, because they don't have enough storage space. They ship them out and they put them in storage lot in Houston or some Dallas or Detroit or whatever, and they wait for a part to come in to do that. And so I don't know. It's interesting. Dougie's here. He's a new member of the channel, been a member for a year. He's a longtime friend of mine, so I'm happy to have him on the channel. Dave in Canada wants to know, can we talk about all the recalls and stop sale notices on GMC Chevy trucks? Nothing new, I guess. Old news, who cares? LOL. Jill and I have been discussing this on the website quite a bit. We have a stop sale on, holy cow, you can almost throw a dime out there in the automotive world and find a stop sale. Everybody's doing something right now.
Yeah, I can't even remember what the latest issue was with the Colorado. I think it was a software issue.
Yeah.
And somebody on the inside messaged us and said it was specifically related to they didn't say what the software affected, but in order to correct the issue, it had to be wired in to the General Motors system for 90 minutes in order to do the fix. So imagine taking how many ever trucks they've built at this point and then spending 90 minutes on each truck just to get a software update.
Right. I learned this with the Tundra is that there are multiple different computers. And so the infotainment system can be over-the-air updated, but some of the other systems cannot. You have to go to the OBD2 sensor, right, and plug it in and actually download software to it. So you actually can't do that. And also, Jerk Shoulder puts up the car wash denting roof issue. Yeah. What a ridiculous story. And somebody actually commented, a Facebook post I saw on this. Somebody if you don't know the story, car washes, the blower motor at the end of the car wash, the blower fans were denting roofs in Colorado. So they took down a headliner. They put in like 6 pieces of tape, basically. They put the headliner back in and fixed the problem. And somebody commented, they went through the car wash, didn't have any dents. Like 6 pieces of tape. Like, are we at that point? Like, I don't know. Ben says somebody told a dealer who said 95% of all Tacomas in freight status are on QC hold. The other thing that people that may not know is that the Alabama plant just started producing the hybrid engines for the Tacoma. Mm. So they like you're wanting the Tacoma hybrid, they just started production like this week of the engine.
Yeah. Well, and the drive like isn't happening until April. It's still a couple months out.
Right. So that's the thing. I had somebody today asking about the Ram Charger while it has the 3.6 liter Pentastar, not the V8. I'm like, we don't know. We're like 9 months away from a first drive. I can't even talk to an engineer at this point. Like, not even close. So yeah, it is interesting how it's going on. Dave again points to the Matrix. I was behind a Matrix today, a Toyota Matrix. I actually was driving around behind this thing. The fender was like broken off. The back door was punched in. I mean, the Matrix was a entry level hatchback thing, and
yeah, this same platform as the Pontiac Vibe, if you remember that.
Right, this person bought it as entry level and did not take care of it. So, yeah, so it's fascinating. Like, so we try to get answer for you guys as much as we can, but the answers we get aren't always what you want to hear because we don't get always the right information. And from the quality control standpoint, it could be 1,000 trucks, and 25 need this, and 25 need that, and 50 need this, and 100 need this, whatever. And so we'll never get a hold of that one guy, and he never can tell you what that the guy is, what's going on. Oh, we have Ben's like, remember that one Common Sense guy, Geo Metro. It was that small. Yeah, it was interesting. Supply chain is still a problem. C Square says, big fan of the channel. I've loved having him on. He's a lot of good comments from him. Still a problem for parts for recalls, for example. Nathan TFL is still waiting for harness for his hitch. Yeah, it's interesting. Probably following
4 years we would figure this out, but we have not.
Right, and the guy says probably following Scotty Kilmer's Matrix. Sorry, that's funny. Yeah, so we still have quality control issues, big ones. So I want to go back to so we have we talked about the Ford F-150 issues. We talked about Ranger. Oh, we did not. Next week, dun dun dun. Right, I have my date.
No, not next week.
The week after.
The week after.
Okay, week after. I'm getting closer. I'm not very good. This is why Jill is part of the channel. She helps it keep organized. The week after, Jill and I will both be in Salt Lake City doing the Ranger First Drive, which I would tell you right now, I was not excited for the Ranger First Drive when I filmed it back in May at the event in Michigan. I know you didn't get an invite, but anyways, I took the invite for us to go there. And you've been in it with me in Chicago. You did Lariat walk around. I was not that thrilled with the Ranger when I first saw it. But I will tell you this. I'll be honest with you guys. The more I've seen you guys' views on the channel, on the website, on the forum about the Ranger, the more I'm like, well, hey, maybe I need to spend more time. There's a lot of people who are literally saying, and they're right, that the Ranger is cheaper than Tacoma, and you get the same off-road capability for a lot less money. The Ranger Raptor is like 57. That damn Trail Hunter I kind of want to buy, and maybe I will buy, or maybe I won't buy, is going to be 70.
Yeah.
And the Ranger Raptor is pretty damn badass. Especially my friend Dave at All Train Nations got one in the Hunter Green. I'm a sucker for that. I don't do colors very much, but Hunter Green, Ranger Raptor, the Shelter Green, they call it Shelter Green. Holy cow, does that look good? Like Ranger, as Jill has walked back a few times in comments, has always been kind of blah in prior generations, we'll say. But
it was already outdated by the time it was revealed. How's that?
Oh,
in the United States.
She has really picked her words tonight, folks. The Ranger Raptor is nice.
Apparently saying it's crappy is like a little bit of a fire starter for some people.
Put down the grenade. Put down the grenade, girl. Put down. Ranger Raptor, the Ford Raptor, the Ranger Raptor, excuse me, the Ford Ranger Raptor. You have to be clear on this because they build the Raptor in different trim levels and Bronco, and they have F-150, all kind of stuff. I tell you what, 57,000 looks pretty badass. Lots of ground clearance. I got lockers. I think I got lockers in that. I got the 3.0 liter big engine in that thing. I may be wrong. I actually I know it's shocking. I know.
I'm like noting the time. 7:45 Central Standard Time on was it February 26th?
How many Ranger Raptors we built this year? Do you think? Very low volume fossil. I think it's going to be those vehicles. Are going to be a hard time to get a hold of. It's going to be a really hard time to get a hold of. But I was very big fan of that. I was really surprised at the. So let me explain this differently. When new vehicles come out, it's always for us new vehicle, right? That's always the game, how the game works. And then after all the new midsize trucks came out, like they're all done now. They've all basically put everything out there, at least in the world. You go back in time sometimes, look at old videos, and you're like, hey, wait a minute. That Ranger was pretty damn good. And not that I blew it, but it's like you just get so much like, oh, Ranger. Oh, wait, I just saw Colorado. Oh, I'm going to ride the GMC. Oh, Tacoma's coming out, right? You just get so much in your face all the time that it's hard to let things settle. And you're like, wait a minute. I'm actually really excited about the Ranger. Yeah, $57,000 for a Ranger. I get it, dude. It's expensive. I totally get it. But when you look at it in comparison to the rest of the midsize truck market, that could be a bargain.
Yeah, I mean, the average transaction price for a new vehicle, and this is everything from like your Kia Rio on up to your, high luxury sedans, trucks, whatever. The average transaction price that people are spending on a new vehicle in 2024, as of about a month ago, is $47,000.
Yeah. Well,
I would spend that money, by the way.
Elliot points out they're just truck prices now. Like it's just what it is now.
Yeah.
But I kind of go back in time thinking to myself, like, yeah, this job that Jill and I do is riddled with mistakes. It's just inherently we're gonna make mistakes, not see things different ways, just what's gonna happen. And talking to you guys in the forum, on the YouTube comments, that kind of stuff, and reading all your feedback, I was like, wait a minute. I'm excited about the Ranger now. I'm really interesting. So it is interesting to think about. Yeah, you can get a Ram Rebel for that price not long ago. Look,
now the base price for the Ram 1500 is $40,000.
But you said it today in the podcast, and Tom and I both said the pushback on that is good luck.
Yeah, no, good luck. Absolutely.
Good luck finding one, because that's a unicorn.
I'm saying $40,000 is a lot. It's a lot of money. You cannot get a Ram 1500 for less than $40,000. You cannot do it.
Yeah, but the average Ram is going to be $55,000, or in my case, $72,000, which is just ridiculous. But as I pointed out, the different videos I've done, it's easier for me to talk about a feature I have than talk about a feature I don't have. So I click the boxes, which is dumb to do, but I got all the click the boxes, and I wanted the volume settled with all the boxes. So that's how that works out. Yeah, it's going to be I'm not looking for that one. So I'm excited about that, about the Ram. Excuse me, the Ford. I'm excited about the Ford Ranger, more than so than I used to be excited for. Now you get a Ram Rebel fully loaded for $83,000. Yeah. So this is a question for you. I said something in a viewer video that people may didn't agree with, because I viewer comments. Right now Ram has how do I say that right? Ram has the most trucks dealership lots right now. They have the most inventory. Like they have 140-day supply, some number like this, outrageous number of supply of Ram trucks. So what does that mean? That means that they have they should be able to go through inventory in 140 days, sell all of it, right? That's what the on-time delivery goes with. I said it doesn't matter, because dealerships are franchisees, and Ram Corp will just give them a bunch of cash, and they'll put incentives on those trucks and blow them out like a big clearance sale, a Ram truck days, get rid of them, new truck comes in. That's what I've said. But I'm curious what your thoughts are in that. Do you think that Ram is dumb because the 2025 is coming out, but they can't sell even 2024s and even 2023s? Or do you think Ram cares about the franchisees? Or do you think dealerships are really, to me, dealerships have to buy that they need to order the newest thing because they want to have the people come in and look at the newest thing. So in your esteemed knowledge of the auto dealership network and your 24-year career doing this, because you're 20, so you started at 7. So, yeah. So how's it work out for you?
I was a prodigy.
That math does not work out, by the way. Just don't try it.
No, you know what? Here's the thing, and people will disagree with me, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think it's always a good deal, financially speaking, to buy 1 year behind the truck that's coming out now. So 2025 models refreshed, you get the tungsten trim, you've got a lot of like gadgets and things, you've got the new engine. But if I were going to buy a Ram 1500 right now, it would not be a 2025 model. I would go for that 2023 or the 2024 and get the incentives and the deals, because it's a damn good truck. People will say, oh, they're not reliable. Believe me, I've seen all the comments, 2.7 million views on my screens, and I probably have like 1,000 comments to talk about the reliability of the Ram 1500. Go to Consumer Reports and do your research, is what I want to say. Ram is one of the most reliable trucks out there right now. And so reliability isn't the issue. And you can get a V8 engine. You can, get a really well-optioned truck for a lot less money that is new. Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
That's what I want to say about that.
No, I think you're right. I mean, the reason I bought one because of business reasons has nothing to do with common sense. Like, common sense.
You have nothing to do with common sense.
It doesn't. I mean,
no, I'm saying you in general, not common sense.
Right. But I mean, this is a business decision. It's not common sense thing. Because for me, I just drive my 62 around all the time. It costs me $10 a month in insurance. Right. For what I use around town, I get press loans all the time. I haul with press loans. It's fine. It works. So, but there's a thing about being the newest truck in the market and views and all kind of stuff, and that's what I need to make happen for the channel. But yeah, from a what's the guy you like?
Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey standpoint, you should be driving a horse because it just poops.
No, you should be driving a 3-year-old vehicle that's just come off lease that you can pay cash for.
Yeah, well. So I wanted to get to something. So we gotta go back to this. We did this for a while with you and I. We walked away from this. Kevin wants to know: does the Ram 2500, 25? God darn it, Tim! Does the 2025 Ram 1500, Jesus criminy, with the Hurricane have an oil dipstick, or is it in cluster like the Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer? So Jill and I, for a long period of time, used to check dipsticks, and it was actually the best part of the videos, and we should do this part because Jill checking dipstick is
laugh at me.
Well, no, you laugh at me getting third rows. I can laugh at you getting to check dipstick. That's it. From now on, Jill, segment every video you do, you have to check dipstick. And I'll tell a funny story about the Jeep Wrangler, which is hilarious. It may not have a dipstick anymore. I did not notice that. I did not pay attention to that. Sadly, on me, slapped my hand. Automakers have gone away from dipsticks and transmissions. And they may go with dipsticks on engines because the engines have enough sensors and things to detect when the oil is low or what they need to do. And engines, I know it's going to piss people off. They do use a little bit of oil depending on your application. I've talked to different brands, different engineers. They all say the same thing. They will use a little bit of oil, but it's not enough to cause red flags. So I need to check that stuff. But so story time. So Jill had a Jeep Wrangler. I forget, maybe Rubicon or whatever it was.
I think it was a 392.
Yes, it was some badass version of Jeep Wrangler. It's just really badass. And we were doing dipstick checks until somebody comments like, well, I don't know why you guys check dipsticks. I haven't looked at mine in 25 years. And I'm like, well, the guy kind of killed it. But we should go back to this because it's funny. So Jill actually had to Google how to check the dipstick in the Ram or Jeep. And so she actually popped the Jeep hood, has these latches that hold it down. So she pops it, but she can't actually get up there. She has to climb on the bumper. And luckily it has a steel bumper, the steel bumper. And she walked across the bumper and actually gets the dipstick checks it.
No. If you're going to tell a story, you got to tell it right. So here's the problem. There were two problems. First off, you raised the hood,
right.
And I couldn't
Oh, that's right. You couldn't
put the latch
right.
in, and then I could reach the dipstick without climbing onto the steel bumper. But the problem was when you drop it, you have to rehook those latches, and I didn't have enough height or torque to be able to push the hood all the way down to relatch it. So I had to like climb on the bumper and then sit on the hood in order to relatch the hood.
So there's Jill in the video, her butt on the hood, reaching out her sides to collapse it because that's the only way she can the hood back down in a Jeep Wrangler.
And for anybody who wants to say I shouldn't sit on the hood, like 95 pounds, I'm not going to cause damage.
Yeah, you get the hate from the Nissan Frontier video.
Yeah, I'm not going to cause damage.
Gene gave us $5. Thanks, Gene.
Thank you.
Interaction here and on forums. Yeah, I read a lot of comments. I read too many comments probably. What's going on?
But you know what? I want to leave a comment here about that. I want to leave a comment about the comments. There are a lot of YouTubers and publishers who will say that don't read the comments, never read the comments. And Tim and I very much disagree with that. We are 100% in favor of reading all the comments because I feel like I learn a lot by reading the comments because very often people will point something out. I mean, when they're not commenting about my shoes, like buzz off. I don't really care if you like my shoes or not. But by the way, I have really good shoes, so you should like them. But like, I don't really care. Like, comment about the car, comment about my delivery style. Okay, I will take it with a grain of salt. I will try and stop saying or what was the other thing I was saying?
All right, so.
Like, I'll try and get rid of those verbal tics. So leave your comments. I'm going to read them. I may not comment on them, but I also learn a lot about things because people will ask me questions. Well, like one of the things with the Ram 1500, somebody was like, well, does that mean there's no, like with the passenger screen, does that mean there's no airbag on the passenger side? Or, is it, and yes, there is a passenger screen. It's above. So I feel like I asked the question. I was like, that is a very good question. So
you mean that the airbag is above the passenger screen?
Yes.
Okay. So.
Yes. But I love getting like comments because people ask questions that I didn't think about. I'm like, well, digital key. So like a lot of times, like new cars allow you to use your phone as a key. And I'm like, okay, you just walk up, you like the car unlocks because you have. Well, somebody was like, what happens if your phone is dead? What happens if you drop it in a lake and then you lose it or it's wet and waterlogged? What happens? I wrote a whole article based on people's comments. So I love the interaction. I love the comments. And there's always going to be a troll who's going to comment about the fact that they don't like my pink shoes. And I say, suck it. But for the most part, there are going to be great comments and feedback. And I love the interaction. And Tim and I read all of the comments.
Yeah, I read a lot of them. I was trying to improve, like Mr. says, Jill's a far better speaker than Tim. Yeah, I mumble. I have a speech impediment. I mumble. I try really hard.
Don't making fun of the speech impediment. That's rude.
Yeah, I try hard. I mumble different words. I can't do 3-syllable words. If you listen to videos, I say Toda quite a bit but I will say that the Michigan engineers we talk to sometimes have said the same Toda. With Jill was with me at the Michigan engineer, said the same thing I said. It's a Midwest thing. I really try hard.
Born and raised in the Midwest. It is not a Midwest thing.
I don't know what it is, but if you watch the videos now, I actually make fun of myself and say, Tim, it's 3 syllables. Toyota. I try hard. I get excited and he's not mocking me. I'm not not mocking me. But we're
kidding.
Certain things like
all of this with a grain of salt.
Yeah, certain things I just can't say, so I just don't do it when I try to. Yeah, so Eric says Stellantis lends dealers floor plan financing for new Ram trucks. They do. Then pays cash incentives to get customers to buy those trucks. So Stellantis helping repay the loans itself will be interesting. That's my point in the video was that dealers sit on dealership lots for these things. They're paying the small payment, not paying sales tax on these vehicles, and they can sit on those until corporate cops walks in and says, "Here's a bunch of cash, blow out the inventory. We're doing new trucks coming in." So that's how dealership model works. So if you drove by your dealership in town, they had 47 Rams and 4 Fords. Does it mean Rams not selling? Maybe, but also means that there's no cash in the hood. And a guy told me years ago in PR, great guy, long history in the job. He said, I don't understand. Let's say it correctly. All the features you want in trucks, you can put anything you want on there. You put any sort of engines in there. You put any features on there. Cash is always king. Cash in the Hood will sell more trucks than whatever powertrain you have. Whatever big screen you have, you will Cash in the Hood. Cash in the Hood always sells. And so you look at dealerships and look at incentives. Chevy Truck Month, Ram Truck Days, Ford does sales. Cash in the Hood always wins. Wow.
I'm changing gears.
Mic drop. Yeah.
Tim says blinker instead of turn signal. That's from Dave in Canada.
Do I really? Wait, I got to think about this a little bit. Do I really say that?
I don't know. I say blinker. Or what I'll do is I'll say blinker or turn indicator. Or turn signal. I
turn indicator, really turn indicator.
I do say. So here's the problem with me and my verbosity is I grew up. I was born in Indiana. I lived in Michigan for a period of time. Then I went back to Indiana. Then I went to Missouri, and I lived in England for a year. And so I have a lot of verbal things that are from all of these different places. And so it took me. So I say both pop and soda, though I'm a pop girl. When I moved to Missouri and I said, if you're going to go to the pop machine, can you get me a Coke? And someone's like, I'll pop you one. It's soda here. And I was like, ooh, okay, we're a little bit touchy about that. And so like there are regional like things that I'm like not sure like how people are going to take it. So I'll be like blinker, turn indicator, turn signal. And I feel like turn indicator might be more of a British European thing. Instead of turn signal. And so I will say things a couple of different ways because I'll be like, maybe these people are not pop people. Maybe they're soda people. Or to add on to that, to go back to the soda pop thing, in Indiana, they call it Coke. Everything is a Coke. Like I remember living in Indiana and somebody was like, oh, would you like a Coke? And I was like, sure. And they're like, well, what kind do you want? And I'm like, diet? They're like, well, we have Sprite, Dr. Pepper. And I'm like, that is not a Coke.
So it turns out, actually, Jill and I both live in Michigan at different times. I think we talked about this one time. We lived
in Fort Wayne at different times.
Right. We lived in Fort Wayne at different times. So I actually live in Columbia City, which is about 20 minutes from Fort Wayne. But my dad actually worked at Fort Wayne Assembly. So I think we looked at it one time. We're road tripping and we're talking about this. I think we basically kind of sort of followed each other around the Midwest a little bit. We kind of lived in different places, different times, and kind of within a year or two each other lived in different places. So soda pop. Yeah. It's a blinker fluid issue, Ken says. I love that stuff. I share all sorts of memes on the Facebook and Instagram that we have for the account. So yeah, it's he was born and raised Battle Creek. Sorry, Battle Creek.
I lived in Kalamazoo for a period of time.
Yeah, now in Lansing, Battle Creek is a home of cereal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big part. So we know this stuff. So, all right. I think I'm exhausted. Anything else? My list.
Blinker.
I can't believe it's 2 weeks till Ford Ranger drive. Here I'm all excited. I can't 2 weeks till Ford Ranger drive.
Next week I will actually be driving the Lincoln Nautilus.
Oh, that's right. You're doing the Nautilus.
Yeah. So I'll be like, if you guys have any questions about the Lincoln Nautilus, comment. I'll come back to this in a couple of days and I'll see if you guys have commented on anything. To see if you have any questions, if there's anything that you want to know. But it's the refresh version with that big screen that goes from the driver's side all the way to the passenger side. And you'll have like different segments that you can put different pieces of content on. I'm very curious to see how distracting that is because the driver will be able to see everything.
Lincoln just confuses me as a brand overall. I'm just not sure where they're at these days.
Okay.
It's just a weird brand. It's like what's selling, what's not selling. Yeah. Lincoln still exists. Exactly. That's my thing. It's like made in communist China. Like, what do you think of Nautilus being Chinese made? It's just no dipstick on engine. Videos of Ram inline 6. No dipstick. I gotta ask that question. I gotta write that down for that Ram engineer. Why don't we have dipsticks anymore? Writing a list. So there's your comments on that. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Put comments down below. What are you missing the show? 146 people watching. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
We'll try to do this next week if things hold. I don't know.
Yes, because
it's usually Tuesday, right? Yeah. So we can do it next week, and then we may do a live stream from Ranger. We like to do live streams and events just because it's kind of fun. You guys get to comment the vehicle there. We do have a lyric actually coming. Jill had a really unique chance to drive the Cadillac Lyric, and I need to get the video out. I was just busy today with a variety of things, but I know I didn't get focused today at all. So she actually drove the Cadillac Lyric, which is I've seen 2, I think. Yeah, I think I've seen 2. So interesting video coming in that one. We'll get more details there. On the podcast, thanks for listening. On the live stream, thanks for watching. So we're going to check you out on the forums, and I did that kind of weird, but we will see you down the road.